Everybody ready, set, go. Rev it up and let's roll. There's a party in the fast lane. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on the stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh, bring it back. Oh,
And a good afternoon to everybody out here at Richmond International Raceway for the season series finale, before the chase starts. Round 25 of 26. Tonight will be 26. One chase will be up for grabs between all the locked-in drivers, and one spot really up for points, while the rest are just trying to win their way in. My name is Michael Duell. I want to welcome everybody from Richmond tonight. Sitting alongside league admin, owner, cohort, creator, founder, basically all-around god here at Intergrity Racing League, Jacob Fife. Good afternoon, Jacob.
Good afternoon there, Michael. Glad to be here tonight with you to call the race. Going to be a little different view for me tonight. Instead of in the car, I'll be up here in the booth taking a look at the action and see who's able to get that final spot into our chase as we head into the last 10 races of the season.
And it has been a pretty good little regular season here. Lots and lots of several winners over the course of 25 races rather. Haven't seen a lot of repeat winners outside of Andrew Fayosh with his 4 wins, but we've got a lot of people with 1 wins that are locked into the chase, myself included. Todd Thomas, James Hudson, won Darlington, just to name a few. Down there towards the cutoff line, though, in the 16th and final spot, we got 1 spot. 22 points are separating the 18 of Cody Smith and the 81 of Carlos Fonseca, so it should be a good little battle tonight.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how it shapes out as they're getting ready to work their way into the Q session here. It'll be the start to see where everybody kind of lands and see where they'll be starting for tonight. It'll be interesting to see.
Drivers are going to get their final instructions for tonight to get the qualifying all lined up. Should be an interesting little setup for tonight. Want to go over a couple things here real quick. So I want to show you the chase standings as of right now. As you can see, that cutoff line right there in the 16th spot with Cody Smith and Carlos Fonseca, 22 points away from each other. So realistically, Cody or Carlos need to have a win. Actually, realistically, anybody, as long as they meet the minimum requirements, get their way into the chase. But to point yourself in, you really need to get ahead of Cody Smith right now. So in qualifying, for those guys that aren't really quite used to Intergrity Racing League, they're going to have a 5-minute first round, qualifying round, where top 10 will move on to that second round. Second round will be the third, 3 minutes in length, and yeah, it's basically just like the old school way, or the new school way rather, where fastest time wins. And right now drivers are on the track, so we'll give them just a minute here to run a couple laps and see who's going to come out with the pole. Another couple of quick rules on these on qualifying. You can't, once you start your lap and you complete your first lap, you can't go back in and restart it. Once you do the one and done, that's it for your round. You have to wait to see if you advance to the second round. And as I'm watching some of these drivers, this setup is tight tonight. And this is a fixed setup league. There's no spending hours upon hours working on setups. Everybody has the same setup. This particular case, this setup is really tight on this track, and there's no rubber, so now is a good time to run some quick laps. As you can see on the board, Chris Schitzler is currently sitting P1 Your goal for round one's going to be, you just want to make the top 10. You can move on to round two. Cars tumbling in turn number 3 and 4. That's not a good way to do a qualifying run, but regardless, it happens. Oh man, big drama in turn number 1. Looks like 2 cars got involved. I don't know if they were running a hot lap or what, but that's going to affect both of them. Excuse me. Boost is going to be P1 right now with a 20.913. Most of these guys are aiming for the 21s, low 21s, as you can see on the scoreboard there. A 21.1 will get you at least in the top 10 land. Actually, 21.4 is Carlos Fonseca, 21.413. Looks like Bontempi's going to call it good with the 21.179. That'll at least get him into the 10th, to the top 10. Several cars are just now going out. There's Todd Thomas running the 78 machine. We'll ride with him for just a second. Most of the drivers too, with this tight setup, like that run off of turn 1 there. Todd's going to clock in at 21.231. That'll get him P10. That's all you need for the first round. Look around to the field. Let's see if anybody else is on track. I think Guillermo's going to finish up a lap or two. 21.7. How to get him P18. That's not going to be inside the top 10. He's going to blow it up. Tyler Hur's out there on track. Everybody knows Tyler from LSR TV, obviously. Also 2 to green driver. He is locked into the chase. He's already got a qualifying run at 21.201. That'll put him P8. Andrew Fayash is finally out there running his quick laps of the night. He's going to run a 20.9. That'll put him P2 right behind Matt Busa. Definitely enough to move up to round 2. I don't see anybody else on the track. Take that back. One guy just drove by. Looks like it's Todd Thomas again running another lap. Todd's already locked in a 21.231. I don't know why he's back on the track again, but we'll let him run. Not any better on that lap at 21.414. So he'll be sitting P12. Not going to move into the top 10, but otherwise not a bad start for Todd. Todd is also locked into the chase. Won the earlier spring race at Michigan. And to celebrate, he not only did a very hilarious podcast, Intergrity Racing League, but also took a cruise with his wife. So now the race control is all the drivers know the top 10. Moving on to round 2, going to grab the pole.
Those top 10 are moving on to the second round. The second round is 3 minutes in length. Keep that in mind. Once you go out, you're out. There's no coming back in or anything like that. So
Okay, Mike.
that session starts right now. The same rules apply.
While you guys are sitting here watching qualifying, feel free to chime in on the chat on YouTube there. comments, suggestions, anything like that, we're taking them all. I'm watching every screen possible. You guys got a comment when I root for a driver tonight, feel free to chime in, tribute to us tonight. We don't mind one bit. Anybody has a question for Jacob, I can pass it on to him through that as well. And looks like round 2 has started. This is Joe Lawrence in the 69 Miller Chevrolet. We don't talk about him too often, but it's always nice to see some of the new guys that are up here in top 10 land qualifying for a good starting spot for tonight's race. There's a 21-100. That'll move him to P4 right now. That's a good improvement. Tyler Herr in that 19 LSR Camry. He's going to run a 21 flat. That's a good lap for him. 21.092. That'll move him to P5 at the moment. Hearing word that Boost is on track here. For all you Matt Boosta fans out there. I gotta tell you, I ran this set last night too, and this set is really tight. You have to be really careful on the throttle, or otherwise you'll plow into the wall. Matt's always done a phenomenal job. That's why he's a black striper. Running for money. He's going to clock in at 21.002, so he did lose just a little bit of time from his lap first round. Makes contact with the Ash. Gonna run, but I guess he's gonna wait a second. Marcus Lambert. 96 96 Johnson Ford Fusion for the election year thing. Cool little paint scheme. And a 21.8 last round. This round he's going to run a 21.8 as well. That's going to be it tonight. So Matt Boost is going to bring the pole home with him. We're in a 20.913. Andrew Fayash is going to be second with a 20.915. They're going to be the only two in the 22nd bracket. Matt Bontempi is going to be starting P3 with a 21.013. James Hudson, your Darlington winner from last week, 21.064. And Marcus Lambert's going to round out your top 5 with a 21.08. As the drivers get their last minute confirmation, last minute instructions for tonight's regular season finale, go ahead and do the national anthem here.
The Fort Lee Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as NASCAR Sprint Cup driver Michael McDowell offers tonight's invocation.
Would you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this great country that we could come and have a fantastic night of racing. We thank you for the men and women all across this world that are fighting to protect this great nation. We pray for those 43 children that stood in front of us. We pray for healing in their lives. We pray for their family. And we're just so thankful that you love us, and we're thankful that you provided this great evening for us to do something that's amazing and race for the chase. Lord, we thank you for your son, Jesus. It's in his name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome the 29th Division Band from Fort Lee.
What the heck of a... that's a heck of a national anthem there. That's going to be the Fort Lee soldiers over there in Virginia. Drivers are getting a little leery here. Drivers are having a lot of fun here. Wait for the start here. Let's look one more time at the chase standings to show you what our seasons look like so far. This is the last race. Holy, got some air. This is the last race in the regular season. The chase will start next week at Chicagoland. That'll be chase race round number 1. All those in the yellow on your screen there are locked in. The only exception, honestly, is Cody Smith, right there on the cutoff line, fighting Carlos Fonseca. Jay Heishman, Trevor Dalton, Brad Wren. Any one of those guys, they can surely be in the chase. With the win, they don't necessarily need to point themselves in. But right now, if it were to start today, Cody Smith would be locked in, Carlos and Jay would be out. So, going to see a number of very brave calls tonight. Through the grapevine, several drivers are already talking about maybe not doing some pit strategy, maybe not pitting under a caution to get track position. So it should be a very colorful and exciting broadcast tonight. Jacob Fife's joining us back now. Jacob, just real quick while you have a second, why don't you talk basically real quick, sum up the season, how it's been so far, and how you think the chase is going to break out tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. So far, our regular season has gone great. We've had full fields for the vast majority of our races, and everybody's come out and raced hard, but fairly clean for most of the season. We had a couple little bumps along the way there, but our recent racing has gotten a lot better, which is good to see as we work our way to the chase. Tonight's going to be interesting. You got a lot of good guys who are still not eligible for the chase yet, either because they don't have a win or they don't have enough points, and they have potential if they can make it in to make some waves. It's kind of like the Kyle Larson effect, if you will. If he can make it in, he can make it a couple rounds. So there's, when you look at a Jay Heishman or Carlos Fonseca that are out there on the track tonight, they're on the outside looking in. Both were chase racers from last season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. It'll be a great race, I believe, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Should be a really good race. Everybody loves running Richmond. Also kind of want to point out a couple of things here. Intergrity Racing League does have a caution count list. If you cause 3 cautions in a race, you're suspended the next race. Richmond is especially important because you don't want to set out the first race chase. That's why me and Jacob are doing the broadcast tonight, because we're already locked in. There's really no point in us, so we decided we would give somebody else the opportunity to maybe try to race their way in, and we'll just sit back and kind of talk about it. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So if you guys got any questions or anything, feel free to hit us up on the YouTube chat. We'll certainly pass on some information, but we should have a good race tonight. The drivers are lining up here, getting ready to grid around here. Just a couple of, let's see, let me look at the field here. Cody Smith is going to be starting P13. That's the one we're going to be watching. Carlos Fonseca starting right behind him in 15. That'll be the 16th cutoff spot right there in the chase. So we'll definitely have to keep our eyes on him. Also kind of want to point out the sponsor of the race, Joe Yakes, once again sponsoring Yakes87 on YouTube. If you guys want to go check out his channel, there's a link down at the bottom of the video here. Go check his channel out. Really cool. Does a lot of gaming and whatnot. So we want to thank him for doing this race tonight. And we'll kind of talk to him as the course of the race goes on.
Yeah, he always does a great job with us in our league, helping out to sponsor races. He did the Richmond race earlier this year, and had a really good run at Richmond here earlier in the year. He's one of those guys that's on the outside looking in, and I know he's kind of circled this race on his calendar as his opportunity to, that chance to make it in was going to be his best one is here. So we'll look for him throughout the night and see where he's able to stack up.
Pace car is going to pull them all the way down the backstretch. Drivers are warming their tires up, getting ready for 200 laps at this Virginia Raceway. Should be a good race, nice and clean. Drivers are fighting for the one more spot in the Integrity Racing League chase. Pace car is going to go around one more time. 2 laps, okay? I thought it was 1 lap.
Excited about it, though.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I like these short tracks. It's Richmond's always fun to drive, but it's even funner to be a fan. And don't mind sitting back with you, Jacob, tonight talking about it.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm interested to see how our top 2 guys start out the race. They're only 0.02 of a second apart in qualifying, so it'll be interesting to see who gets the top spot heading into the first 2 corners tonight.
You can see the 2 black stripers in the iRacing. Matt Boost in the 34, Andrew Fayash in the 77, starting P1, P2. You guys get your popcorn, grab your drinks. Let's have a good old race tonight. Short track racing style at Richmond International Raceway. Pace car is going to pull off. Matt Boost is going to have control of the field. Coming off turn number 4, Matt Boost is going to gun it. We're underway for 200 laps.
Yeah, it looked like he got a pretty solid start there going into turn 1. As you'll see, the 20 of Matt Bontempi gaze to the inside of Andrew there, but he ends up giving up the spot, and they'll go single file off of turn 2.
They're going to be single file to about 8th spot. They're going to be fighting back there for position number 8 or so. Going to be between Joe Lawrence and Adam de Blasio. I'm sorry, Chris Schitzler in the 24 car. Chris Schitzler's begging for a win tonight as well to get locked into that chase. They're going to go single file now.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Lawrence is able to take that position and relinquish the 24 of Chris Schitzler back to around the 8th position.
Back up front, Matt Bontempi and Andrew Fayash coming to class of the field already. Kind of slowly pulling away. They got about a 2-second lead already. Or, I'm sorry, 0.2 of a lead. Looking back through the field here, looks like everybody is everybody's single file. Kind of minding their P's and Q's there.
Yeah, it's definitely a long race tonight. We'll give our first look into Cody Smith, who's on the cut line. You have one of the other cut line drivers in Joseph Yates right on his bumper, battling for the 13th position. And then not too far further back is Carlos Fonseca, the guy who's looking to work his way in on points. He's currently running in the 17th position. So they're all grouped right together there, working to get their way into the chase tonight.
Everybody's kind of waiting for the race to work itself out right now. Really no racing going on. Everybody's side by side. I'll get that right here in about another 190 laps or so. Got a good battle going on for about 5th or 6th spot back here. And Joe Lawrence, let's see, that's 24, Chris Schitzler. Okay, they're all going to go single file now. Marcus Lambert was looking a minute ago, decided, well, might be a little early right now.
Yeah, of our guys who are looking to get in and are eligible, it looks like Chris Schitzler's the furthest one up so far, as he currently runs in the 7th position. It looks like he's starting off very well, and as always has the potential to have a strong run here at Richmond. So he might be one of the ones we look out for to possibly snag that last chase spot.
Well, some tight battles going on back here for about 17th spot. A lot of guys were kind of thinking about going under some other drivers. Didn't quite push the issue, but they're not giving an inch right now.
Yeah, it looks like the 71 in Neil Froelich right now is dropping back. He had a top 10 qualifying spot, made it to the second round, but he is currently being passed by several drivers and has worked his way back to the 17th position. So hopefully he'll be able to get it straightened out here after a few laps and kind of work his way back through the field.
Looking back up ahead here, Cody Smith's currently sitting P12, hoping for that chase spot, get his way on the points. Carlos Fonseca's 2 spots behind him in 14th, and he's coming. He's coming in a hurry.
Yeah, I think the thing tonight for Cody, as long as there isn't a new winner, is just manage the race, which he's very good at. He's a very consistent driver here in the league. So if he's able to hold, I believe statistically speaking, if he holds the 19th spot or better tonight, he will be automatically in as long as there's not a new winner. And he's got plenty of talent to do that. So hopefully, he'll keep it clean, kind of hold serve, and then see how the rest of the race plays out with the other drivers.
Right behind Carlos Fonseca is a sponsor, Joe Yakes. He's also looking for a win. If he could get a win, he'll be chase eligible. He's out right there, just needing a miracle tonight. But a lot of guys out here are really tight on the competition. It's hard to get a win here, and but Joe is definitely one of those drivers we'll have to watch out for tonight. He's looking for a win bad. You got back up front. Matt Booth is still leading on lap 13 with Andrew Fayash currently in tow. About 4/10 behind him. Directly behind him, you have Darlington winner James Hudson. He is also locked into the chase. He's sitting P3. Matt Bontempi sitting P4 right behind him. And rounding out your top 5 is 2 to green's own Tyler Hurd, who's also chase eligible.
Looking back from here, and you have Joe Lawrence in the number 69 machine running in the 6th position. In 7th is fellow 2 to green driver in the number 24 car, Christopher Schitzler. The Lockdown Racing's Marcus Lambert is in 8th position. 9th will go to Jay Heischman in the Elkton Golf and Batting machine. He's also another sponsor of ours, and we're glad to have him on board. And then rounding out the top 10 for the race is Colton Lands, who's got 2 wins in the season so far and is looking to have another solid run tonight.
Chris is looking to get around the 69 car ahead of him with Joe Lawrence, getting a couple looks underneath him going into turns 1 and turns 3, but Joe was having nothing of it. Chris backed off just a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's kind of single filed out here and just is really taking these opening laps pretty easily, as the closest battle we have on track currently is between 2 teammates from the Integrity Racing team, as William Dunn clears Trevor Dalton for the 13th position.
Joe Yakes getting around Cody Smith finally. I think that's going to be for about P15. Also noted, we just seen Carlos Fonseca did get around Cody. He's up about 3 spots ahead of him, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Lots of good racing going on. Everybody's kind of minding their P's and Q's at the moment. Everybody's side by side. Sorry, I still got it wrong, Jacob. Single file.
That's where they're behind each other, Joel.
I gotcha. Matt Booth is starting to catch some lap traffic here. Still leading lap 19. He's kind of been the one that if he shows up to the race, you're pretty much racing for second if Andrew can't do it. And right now it looks like to be a battle of the 2 black stripes right now.
Yeah, they both really separated out over the rest of the field, about a second gap between each position. And then you go back to 3rd place with James Hudson, and that will be your first battle with him and Matt Bontempi in the 3rd position.
And we're past lap 20. Well, they're actually working lap 21 right now. I do want to point out the fastest lap on the track right now is Matt Booster on a 21.790 this many laps in. Andrew Fayash about a 10th off of him, and then everybody's a 10th off of Andrew. So definitely see why Matt's up there racing for the big money in iRacing. Very consistent, always patient, and right now he's working lap traffic.
Yeah, he'll be going by the number 76 of Randy Fayash as the last car running currently. And then he'll be looking ahead to the number 70 of Kent Wetherill for, I believe he's in the 28th position. And Kent, this is Kent's usual strategy. He likes to lay back and let others make mistakes and take advantage of their positions. He is actually the leader of our Clean Driver Award currently, and is way ahead of the rest of the field because he minimizes his mistakes.
Kent's been a great guy. Kent's one of those guys that I didn't even know about until I came to Integrity, started racing over here, and I'm going to find out a few things about him that are very surprising. But he's a really great guy, fun to be around, and very respectful.
Surprising things in a good way.
Totally, yeah.
Don't want to mislead people.
No.
But no, Kent's a great guy, and he's a rookie this season. He's joined the first year with us, and it's been a pleasure having him within the league.
I think I'm back further through the field here. Just noticed Alan Roll back here. Oh, Mr. Reliable. He's kind of falling back a little bit, but he's staying out of everybody's way, which is what he does all the time. Good driver. Trying to be patient, not really cause any issues, just looking for a finish.
Yeah, and if you take a look back a little bit, you'll notice that the group that Alan is in is on the same straightaway as the leader. So this is the next group Matt Boos is going to get to, and it consists of 5 cars here. So the battling might pick up just a little bit to try to stay on the lead lap. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that and see if when Matt gets to them, if Andrew's able to close the ground any at all, because it's a big gaggle of cars right here coming off of 4 right now.
There is about 5 cars ahead of Matt. Allen right in the middle of it, so they're going to try to race side by side. They're going to try to race to stay ahead of Matt Busa and at the same time not cause any accidents. So we'll keep an eye on Matt here just another lap or two and see how he manages the lap traffic.
And as Allen locks it up there, almost got in the back of Mike Ellis in the 7, but is able to stay off of him. One surprise I did notice, who's almost clearing that group, is Guillermo Alvarez. He's a chase-eligible driver, already locked in, and he's actually back here in the 23rd position, about to get lapped. So I don't know if he had some troubles early on, or just haven't really been able to grasp how to race this track quite yet. But we'll have to look at him later on in the race and see if he's able to improve any.
Yeah, Guillermo was really strong there at Pocono. Locked his way into the chase with a win. First win for him. Very, very proud for him. Looks like several cars are kind of moving their way around Matt Busa. Just pulling over, letting Matt have it. He's going to go around Alan Roll now to put Alan on another lap down.
Yeah, that would mean that Matt Busa is lapped up to the 24th position. The last car on the lead lap currently will be Mike Ellis in the number 7 machine.
So right about this time, we're working lap 32, coming to lap 33. Drivers are starting to really want to come to pit road, really asking for a caution somewhere, any chance they can get. We got some smoke in turn 1. I don't see any cars sideways yet. But regardless, tires will work quick here with the setup that's tight. And then you throw in the fact that we're 30 laps in, and these drivers are ready for a pit stop very soon.
Yeah, the name of the game tonight I think it's going to be tire management, Duel. And how are you able to save those tires for later in the run so you can take advantage of maybe some guys in front of you burn their tires off. If you can manage your tires, it'll be a great help for the longer run segments of the race, kind of like it looks like we're exhibiting right now.
Looks like Tyler Herr up ahead in the top 5 lane did get around James Hudson. They'll move him into P4, James Hudson back to P5. Joe Lawrence, we talked about him earlier. He's sitting comfortably in P6. Don't see him up front too often.
Yeah, Joe seems to be having a good run tonight and looking to make some moves as he's right on the back bumper of James Hudson, who is our winner from last week at Darlington. So.
Oh, almost had a spinner off of turn 4. Josh Buckley got a little loose all of a sudden in the car number 2. Was able to save it, but he's going to lose about 2 spots. Man, he just got that thing sideways quick.
Yeah, in the process, he was letting the 21 of Mark Robertson by. Mark was able to take that position, so hopefully Josh will be able to regroup here and kind of settle in and log some more laps and keep all 4 fenders on it.
Come back up ahead. Looks like Matt and Andrew finally got around Guillermo. That'll put him a lap down, so they're still in a class by themselves. Matt's got about 1 second and 3/10, we'll say, over Andrew Fayash. Matt Bontempi's going to be 4 seconds behind. Tyler Herr's going to be sitting P4, and James Hudson rounding out your top 5. Looks like everybody's kind of getting in the situation where they need the pit stop pretty quick. We should see somebody pitting here soon.
And it looks like I'm getting reports that Carlos Fonseca, one of the cut guys, hit the wall off of turn 4 last lap on lap 37. And the 48 of Adam Blasio was able to get by there. Looking at his car right now, he's also high through 1 and 2 there last lap as well. He's got some damage there that we'll have to take a look and see how that affects him.
Yeah, he's
dropping quickly through the field.
He's dropping very quickly. He must have pounded that wall. He's got some severe damage on that right front. That's going to affect his aero here and his turn.
Yeah, as if you're able to get the shot there, Duel, you look into the corner, those brake rotors are glowing red. It looks like he's really used the brakes up. And you see Bobbles there coming off of turn 4 once again as number 2 of Joshua Buckley looks to get around him.
So the driver's experiencing some issues early on. Carlos, one of those guys that doesn't really need it, but he's about to experience it if he's not careful.
And with his issue, looks like the 18 of Cody Smith was able to get back around Carlos. And they're actually right in front. And there's contact right there off of turn 4 between the 81 and the 2. Looks like they were able to hang on to it and save it.
Yeah, I saw Carlos go into turn 3 there. He had the brakes locked up, and I don't think the car behind him expected that. Just nailed him coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, luckily Joshua was able to hit him square there and not cause any further damage, and they were able to race on from it. But I think that'll affect both drivers with their handling as we move on in the race.
Yeah, Josh Buckley's got a little bit of damage on that front of that Toyota Camry, so that'll affect him a little bit. Carlos Fonseca obviously has got the damage in the front. Now he's got a little dent in the back, so...
Yeah, he is really struggling here in the last few laps as he locks it again going into turn 3 right in front of our leader. So he'll have to either come in and fix the problem or try to manage it until the first caution comes out.
And Carlos is up the wall again in turn 1 and 2. We expect him to come to pit road anytime now. Alright, well, meanwhile, back up front, Matt Boost is still pulling away now. He's running about 3/10 quicker than Andrew now. This late in the run, that's unheard of.
And it looks like if we look ahead of Matt Busa, you'll have our cut line guys of Joseph Yakes, our sponsor tonight, and then Cody Smith are going to be the next ones to go a lap down. As Matt Busa is really clicking off the laps here as we work our way closer and closer to lap 50 of our 200 lap race tonight.
And we'll go on board here with Matt to see how he kind of works his way through some of this traffic and see how he's working the wheel this late in the run. Joe is just fighting hard. He's not really wanting to give him anything. He does finally get around Joe Yakes, so move Joe Yakes a lap down. Matt Boost is continuing to pull away. Lap 48 of 200, not one caution yet.
Yeah, as we look at the results here, it looks like that Matt Busa has just put the 18th place driver lap down in Cody Smith. He's really clicking off the laps, and before you know it, over half the field will be a lap down here as we approach lap 50. Currently, Andrew Fayash is hanging in there okay. Only a second off the pace, within a second now of Matt Busa, and then Tyler Hurd is a distant 6.2 seconds back of the top 2 positions here as we come up on lap 50.
Yeah, Andrew was about 1.7 seconds back behind Busa, but lap traffic's got to slow him down a little bit. Andrew Fast now about 6/10 behind him.
I think it's an interesting combination to see if maybe Andrew saved up the tires a little bit, or is it a combination of that and traffic that's allowed him to close back in, as it looks like he's able to maintain right around that 0.6 of a second mark as we see Matt Busa moving up the track a little through 1 and 2. I think he's trying a different line there to see if he can kind of regain an advantage over Andrew Fayesh as they work into turn 3. And there's contact here going into turn 1. We'll have to take a look back at Joseph Yates is on the apron there. Looks like he was able to save it for a second. We'll have to go back and get a replay of that.
See what happened to Joe. Let's go back and look. Looked like he just got some contact from Buckley. Got slow on the high side going across the line. Threw him completely off, and he just did a hell of a job saving it. No caution and no cars collected, but moved Joe down a little bit. He's struggling a little bit as well.
Yeah, he really had to lock him up there. I expect that he'll be in the pit road pretty soon. And speaking of pit road, it looks like we're starting to see our first guys come in the pits for green flag pit stops, as Colton Lands was in the previous lap. And I expect once one comes in that you'll see several more drivers start to make their way down pit lane for the first round of green flag pit stops.
That's going to be lap 53 when drivers are pitting here. That's going to be about a 3-stop race. Colton Lands getting held up here a little bit by some lap traffic.
It'll be interesting to take a look here once Colton finds some free space, see what kind of lap times he runs in comparison to the leader.
Yeah, he is really held up by a couple of cars here on old tires. Really can't take advantage of. Boy, he's about to go 3 wide. 3 wide for position 28. Colton Lands makes it work.
Yeah, you see Matt Busa right behind him as well as he's trying to work through this lap traffic. These guys don't want to go a lap down. They're battling to hang on as there is a battle for a lead coming off of turn 2.
They're side by side, 3 wide. Lots of warping going on. Holy.
Give Andrew Fayesh the advantage on that lap as they go into turn 1. He'll take the lead. Matt Busa battles back on the outside as they have Mark Robertson right there with him. Some very hard battling as they go down the backstretch and into turn 3. There's Matt Busa making his way into pit lane there on lap 59 of the race. As you see, several more drivers will start making their way in to take advantage of those tires. For comparison there, the last lap that Colton Lands was able to run on the new tires was 21.9. In comparison to Andrew Fayesh's last lap was a 22.5. So that shows you how quickly these tires wear out through the course of a run.
Yeah, I don't know why Andrew hasn't pitted yet. It's kind of, you want to stay with Matt, you got to kind of be on the same page as tires, but maybe Andrew come in this time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see now that Matt Busa has made his pit stop, how long it'll take for some of the other drivers to start to make their way to pit road.
Andrew Fash is continuing to stay out. Still running 22 fives on those old tires. 63 laps in.
Yeah, we'll have to see if this green run continues, how that strategy is going to play out for him, as I think Matt Busa will dominate him once green flag pit stops cycle through, if they do. So we'll see if his strategy works as the race continues. See, a couple other drivers have made their way to pit lane in terms of Chris Schitzler and Trevor Dalton, among others, have made their way to pit lane as well. as there is a gaggle of cars coming off turn 2 currently. With you have several on new tires and some still on old tires trying to make their way through.
That's a restart waiting to happen right there. That's Chris Schitzer on the bottom of that 24 car. Hit it about 5-6 laps ago.
They may potentially go 3 wide here. It's going to get very hairy in the next couple laps.
Now there are 3 wide right there. And I know Chris, he's in a hurry because he wants to take advantage of those new tires as quick as he can. And
he's able to slice.
Looks like Colton Landis, the guy we talked about earlier, also going 3 wide. He's right behind him too.
Yeah, he was able to do a nice job and slice his way through there as he's coming up on some of the guys that he'll be battling with later in the race here, and Marcus Lambert and Jay Heichman.
A lot of cars out here still have not pit yet. We're 68 laps in, and easily right now top 12 cars have not pitted yet. So everybody behind him, Matt Booth is going to be 13th, running 22 ones.
Yeah, you hear on the voice chat that Marcus Lambert is going to be working his way into pit lane. You see Tyler Herr as well as Todd Thomas working their way off of pit lane to rejoin the action.
And, you know, Jacob, I'm actually surprised on the old versus new. I mean, we got Booster back here running 21.8s. Andrew running 22.4s. It's not really a 2-second fall off, but there is not so much of a big gap like there usually is.
Yeah, it is. I think traffic has a lot to do with that, really. That's holding up these guys. But is the amount of traffic that's holding them up enough to make a difference for the newer tires to kick in once the rest of these guys come in? Because comparative to when Matt Busa was in pit lane, you might have 20-lap newer tires for some of these drivers who are waiting longer to stay out and come in at a later portion of the race.
I don't know if you see, I was looking at the Matt Busa machine number 34. He's got severe damage on the nose. I must have missed something, but he's got a good bang on there.
Yeah, and there's actually one person in the pit barrier right now. I believe that's the 53 of James Hudson, who's actually run into the tire barrier at the end of pit road. That's an incredible mistake for James, as he is the winner of last week's race at Darlington, but this will be a severe setback for him in the number 53 team.
Yeah, he sat there. He came off of turn 3, hit the pit wall barrier at the end of pit road, and he was stuck. He couldn't get out. He sat there for a good lap or two until he finally was able to work his way out. But yeah, that's going to set him back significantly.
Yeah, James was actually in the 3rd position when he was making his pit stop as well, so he had another strong run going tonight. Luckily for him, he's locked into the chase from his win from last week, so this is almost a throwaway race from him, and hopefully he'll be able to move on to Chicago next week's race and our first race of the chase and be able to do a little bit better than what he'll probably end up doing tonight.
Several cars still staying out here. Now your top 6 have not pitted yet. That's going to include Andrew Fash, Matt Bontempi, Jay Heisman P3 right now, William Dunn P4, Mark Robertson P5, Alan Pajari sitting P6. Everybody behind him is pit.
Yeah, I think the interesting key that's come from this is of the guys that have pitted. Actually, other than Matt Busa, obviously, Christopher Schitzler is the highest running driver of those who have pitted so far, and he's really pulled away from Colton Lands, who was pretty sporty earlier in the race, in the top 3 or so. And Chris has been able to pull away and really been able to manage a good gap between them of almost the back straightaway.
That's a good run for Chris. He's really got to get his way into the chase with a win. Can't do it on points. So he's definitely got to pull some strategy out tonight.
That's for sure. And as we're looking here, the guys who stayed on old tires so far, Andrew has actually lapped up to 2nd place as he's just gotten around Jay Heisman, who's in third position, both of which haven't pitted yet. So Jay might have to pull off some extracurricular strategy in order to make his lap up and get back in winning contention tonight.
It looks like William Dunn he finally entered pit road. He's going to enter from about P3. This is on the move here.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to, make your claim to that last spot in the chase if you can. As Alan Roll almost bounces off the wall into him, that could have gotten ugly. But luckily he was able to move on and keep knocking out positions.
Getting a report that William Dunn got penalized for speeding. He's got to come back down pit road now. Andrew looks like he's finally going to enter it on pit road. That'll be lap 80. 80 laps on these old tires with a tight set. That's amazing.
Yeah, he was able to click off some solid laps even with the older tires. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to the number 34 of Matt Busa once all is said and done.
A move Matt Bontempi up into P1 right now. Matt Bontempi also has not pit. He's about to go too wide here for like some lap cars behind him trying to get around him.
Most everyone is pit at this point, it looks like, except for Bontempi and Jay Heishman currently.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like a gaggle of cars trying to get around him right now. There's about 7-8 cars behind him trying to get around Bontempi. Looks like Dunn's finally going to get around. He's going to get one of his couple laps back now. Several cars behind him trying to get up.
As 05 and Greg Trago goes to the outside, and looks like Colton Lands will take him on the inside. I think it'll be about time here, and very close time for Matt Bontempi to make his way to pit lane. Currently, it looks like even with Matt Busa's pit stop, he is only 11 seconds behind the leader currently.
Let's go back here to, we'll go to P3 and Jay Heishman. We don't talk about Jay too much with this Heishman way, per se, but he's currently also not pitted. He's about 84 laps into his run. He might be looking for bonus points, but he's not going to get them because Busa got around him. So now would be the time for Jay to think about pitting.
Yeah, he's really thinking outside of the box tonight in an effort to try to nab that win here towards the end of the race. I'm sure a lot of people were kind of not expecting this long green flag run as we've reached lap 85 of the event so far. But they're going to have to adjust on the fly. They're going to have to make different decisions than maybe they were planning on, and try to put themselves in the best positions to snag that final chase spot if needed. And looking at the standings currently, it looks like there is currently an 8-second gap between Matt Busa and Andrew Fayesh after those pit stops, and that'll really tell you the difference that tires make here at Richmond International Raceway, as we'll see how quickly Andrew can kind of run back down the 34 of Matt Busa, as he'll have about 20 to 25 lap newer tires.
Meanwhile, Matt Bontempi's still staying out here. Several cars are trying to get around him, get their lap back, but right now Bontempi kind of sitting up there leading some laps, getting some bonus points.
Yeah, Bontempi's looking really optimistic. I talked to him earlier in the evening, and he's looking forward to our chase races that are coming up. I think when we talked, he said he had some strong tracks that he's looking forward to going to, and it'll be interesting since he has a win from New Hampshire to see where he can stack up as we head through our 10 chase races.
Kind of looking at two teammates, Tyler and Todd there. It looked like they'd made contact earlier, right ahead of Bontempi there. I don't see any major damage. Tyler got a little bit dinged up a little bit, but they do get around each other safely.
Yeah, they are battling pretty hard currently for, it looks like, the 9th position, and they're also battling as the last cars in the lead lap, as they're still waiting for Matt Bontempi to pit. But honestly, Matt Busa isn't very far behind right now either, so they're also looking to try to stay on the lead lap, and hopefully strategy plays out for them as the race is 10 laps away from halfway.
Now I'm sitting here riding with Matt Bontempi. All these cars behind him trying to get around him. They check up an awful lot like that. I'm pretty sure Matt's got to get run over if he ain't careful. They're just checking up so much.
Yeah, you can really tell the difference in tires too, mid-corner and off. These guys just really are able to roll the center much better and really get a run on them coming off the corner. I think, honestly, his biggest issue is going to be trying to find a place to make it in pit lane. He keeps having to go high to let cars go by, and he's not going to have enough room to be able to make it to pit lane if he's not careful.
And Alan Roll's going to go 3 wide behind them. Trying to stay out of the way, he ends up going 3 wide. That's always a nail biter.
Yeah, it's really get put in those precarious positions every so often within a race, and it's just a matter of how you manage them, really. It looks like we'll very quickly have, and I'll use this term loosely, have a battle for the lead as Matt Busa pulls alongside Matt Bontempi coming off of turn 2, and he'll very easily pull off the pass as they go into turn 3.
So move Matt Bontempi back to P2. Andrew Fash is coming too, but Matt Busa is going to be the class of the field again, taking the lead.
Looks like Matt cuts down there right in front of Kent Wetherill there. Maybe this will be the chance for him to make his way into pit lane.
Or maybe not.
or maybe not. Yeah.
He must be aiming for the halfway point. That's the only thing I can figure, staying out this late.
Yeah, he's really holding up traffic back behind him with Kent and Joe Lawrence, as well as James Hudson with his damage. Even he's having troubles trying to get around the slower Matt Bontempi.
And Matt Bontempi is also one of the drivers locked into the chase. This is just kind of a, a throwaway, we say, but let's just see what happens. And, maybe he wants to get a second win, move up to about, P3 on the chase standings there. But he's got to be aiming for halfway, maybe doing it on a one-stop race. And here comes Andrew looking under him going into turn 1.
Yeah, there's still a couple drivers still out here. It looks like the 29 of Alan Pajari is one of the last ones. He's making his way to pit right now on lap 98 as a huge cluster of cars go by him, going 3 wide coming off of turn 4.
And I also got to give props to Jay Heishman. He still has not pit yet. He's lost some positions, but he's working lap 99 on this set of tires. That's impressive for Jay.
Yeah, I'm looking, so it sounds like we get the call for Matt Bontempi to be coming to pit lane this time. They're battling really hard around the leader of Matt Busa. Our sponsor tonight, Joseph Yakes, almost got into him in the last set of corners, trying to hang on to the best position he can, hoping a caution comes out.
So as Matt Bontempi's going to enter pit road, move Chris Sitzler P3 right behind Andrew Fash. Matt Bush is going to be leading the field. We're going to go ahead and step away for a second as we look at Joseph Yakes, and we'll get a few minutes here to get to know Joe Yakes on this commercial here.
Stop hitting me and I'll get you. There's no way you can possibly win this. 0. No! You want to go? We're going. Okay. Alright, we made it. We made it. No! No!
We're both doing the button.
I thought you spun. You chose your own fate.
No, we're
What is that?
we're doing this at the same time. All right, you ready? 1, 2,
Cheers.
3.
I've been out here for 40 laps.
Yes,
Taking
yes.
out here.
Nice job, Blanket.
How fast were they catching it? I mean, 2 seconds.
And we lose. We lost. Push this cabinet out of here. Oh! What the hell?
Hello everybody, this is Yakes87. Welcome to another vlog. It's been a while since I've had a chance to talk to you guys, so there's a couple of things I wanted to go over here. I just appreciate it so much. And thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. And as always, I will see you in the next video. See you later.
And there you go. That's just a little about Joe Yakes and his YouTube channel. Feel free to check him out. Yakes87 is going to be his name on there. He always loves to hear from his people watching his streams. Always likes to hear about the different games that he plays. So you guys go check him out.
Yeah, and some interesting developments here while we were away on commercial break. It looks like Jay Heishman is finally making his way to pit lane here on lap 108 of the event. And actually, Colton Lands, who is in the 4th position, has already come in for his 2nd pit stop before Jay has come in for his 1st. So we'll see how the strategy works out for Jay. I'm not quite sure what the advantage he's going to get here, especially as you see some other guys already pitting for the 2nd time who have passed him on the track. But we'll hopefully it works out for him and it'll come out a wash in the end. As another one, as I mentioned before, another one of the impressive guys tonight is going to be the 24 Christopher Schetzler, as he's in the 3rd position. He's 10 seconds back currently of the leader, but I think he's maxing out as best of a race as he can to this point so far and really showing the talent level that he has once he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, and if you guys want to hear some funny stuff, listen to us during the NIS races during the week when he's here and he gets wrecked out running top 5. He is hilarious. Like, he's 90% of why we stream because of people like Chris. And it's all in good fun. He never takes it serious. He just likes to ride around. But right now he's probably just pulling out that desperation feather per se, just trying to get up there in that top 3 land. Not really looking for points. Just need to pull out a win somehow.
Yeah, but he's really putting himself in a position there with the Jurassic Park scheme he's running tonight. And you never know what can happen in the final laps of the race, as we're on the other side of halfway right now. And the 2 guys who are up front and getting ready to battle for the lead, Matt Moose and Andrew Fash, they got together last week and basically almost wrecked each other out. So anything can happen, and if that opportunity opens right there, I think Chris has put himself in a great position to kind of jump through the door there and grab his spot.
Yeah, so move Andrew Fash back up to P1. Boost is going to fall back to P2. Chris Schitzler's P3. Todd Thomas, your Michigan winner and Chase eligible driver, is going to be P4. And rounding out your top 5 is Todd Thomas's teammate Tyler Herr. That's a good run for the 2 to green guys. I'm very impressed with them.
Well, you definitely can be proud of the way they're running currently. I do want to take a look back as some things are getting interesting here. We haven't talked about our cut down area or our cut spot. Cody Smith currently is actually 3 laps down and 27th at the moment. So must have had some issues. I don't see a hood on his car currently, but that 27th is outside his range from where he'll be guaranteed a spot in. So he's got some work to do. With that being said, though, Carlos Fonseca is 2 laps down. We documented his damage from earlier in the race. He's currently in the 17th position. So that chase bubble is closing up there a little bit, and we'll have to definitely keep an eye on it.
Just looking at Cody Smith's car, and yeah, he's got some serious damage on the front end. I don't know if he got into somebody. I don't see anything on the back. He must have just plowed into somebody earlier, but he's basically driving a modified.
Caution's out.
We got a caution on the speedway.
Fuel.
Gotta look through the replay here, see what I can tell. It's got to be the 81. 81 of Carlos Fonseca is going to come off of turn number 4 and just looped it, got the apron, spun it all the way down the front stretch. Excuse me, that'll be a single car incident there. That'll bring out your first caution of the night.
Yeah, we were just talking about him there being on the cut line and, you know, really needing to make his way further up in the field in order to, you know, have a chance to getting that in on points. But I think that really changes the dynamic of the race as we actually have one of our drivers who wasn't able to make the race tonight, Nick Ward, joining us in the booth. Good night. Good evening, Nick.
Yeah, good evening, Jacob. Got a little late here. Looks like so far tonight y'all have been having a great run out here tonight. From everything I can gather, this is the first caution, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, first caution of the night. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, it's kind of what it's a good thing to see out here, especially coming into the last race of the normal season. So, gives these guys a lot of time to make the moves. So, it's going to be real interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew Fash is going to be first off pit lane in the number 77 machine. And I think Booth is staying in the pit lane and trying to get some of that damage fixed he has there. As you see Christopher Schitzler pulling out. He'll be the second guy off pit lane. And as you see, very little cars on the lead lap at the moment. You only have 6 cars on the lead lap. And looks like Joe Lawrence will be the lucky dog there in 7th.
Yeah, speaking of Chris Schitzler having a good run in that 24 car, let's talk to the Toyota machine and the Nike Just Do It 24. Chris, this is Mike, Jacob, and Nick in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, gotcha, guys.
Hey, we just kind of noticing your strategy here kind of worked out pretty good there. We kind of questioned it earlier, and then we looked up and you were P3, so kind of tell us what your plan was for tonight.
My plan right now is simple: do everything that they're not doing, because I think we got about a 3rd place car. I don't think we're anywhere near in Andrew or Boose's league, so just gonna have to try to do it on strategy here. But we got ourselves up to 2nd, so we'll see if we can make something of it.
Yeah, you guys are doing a hell of a job here. I was telling everybody earlier when I looked up and you were in P3 that we knew you was going to try to pull out some weird, strange strategy, and so far it's worked out pretty good for you. It looks like Boosh has got some damage he's repairing. So, yeah, you're really just kind of going for the win, we would assume.
Yeah, I'm just kind of relaxing right now, trying to keep the car in shape. So far, it's a clean car, so I'm gonna try to wait it out to the last 30 or 40 laps here. I think it's gonna get a little crazy with people getting desperate.
That's probably true. Everybody getting desperate, looking for that last-minute win before the chase starts in Chicagoland. Well, Chris, good luck to you. We'll keep an eye on you tonight, and I hope we see you in victory lane.
Thank you, guys.
I should have moved him to Tifosi Racing.
Interesting.
That would have been interesting to see, right, Nick?
Oh yeah.
Let's pull on. Let's see. We talked to him. Let's talk to Andrew real quick. Talk to him. Andrew Fayash, just Michael in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up, dude?
Hey, man. Just noticing you and Boosa kind of were the class of the field there until Boosa had some damage there. Just wondering if you had any kind of strategy for tonight. If you're just kind of gunning for another win.
We're going for the win, but there's definitely a bunch of strategy to it. I mean, if you the first run, I let Boosa go burn his stuff up. I caught him, and I mean that was his strategy too. Was to pit there as soon as I got him. So I don't know. It's we'll see how it plays out, but I'm pretty much just gonna go from here without stopping and take care of the stuff.
All right, looks like you're going back green here. Good luck, buddy. We'll keep an eye on for you.
Thanks, dude.
That was Andrew Fayash there in the 77. Leading the field to green here. Pace car's going to pull off. Andrew's going to have control of the field. And we're going. Chris Schistler's going to fall behind just a little bit. Everybody knows Chris Schistler sucks at restarts.
They'll be heading down. It'll be double file going into turn 1 there as Matt Booth is able to get ahead of Guillermo Alvarez.
Got some cars sideways going into turn number 2 here. Looks like there was about 2 or 3 cars behind in turn number 2 that were completely sideways. They're all going to maintain, though.
Yeah, it looks like the top 3 or 4 cars have really settled out quickly there. as it looks like up to 9 cars are on the lead lap now. It's a couple wave arounds. They're trying to hang on there and hope for another caution quickly.
Oh, got a good battle going on here. Cody Smith and Carlos Fonseca is right there about neck and neck with each other.
You know, Scheffler is actually holding on pretty good with Andrew Fash up there. Maybe Chris was selling himself short. Seems to be able to stay within a couple car lengths of Fash. Maybe if Schützler plays his cards right, he'll be there right on his bumper towards the end, and if Fash makes a mistake, he'll be able to pounce on it.
Yeah, Schützler looked like he got a great run off the corner to be able to get a run on him, and it looks like he's doing some of the same here coming off of turn 4. They'll be bumper to bumper as they hit the start-finish line.
Yeah, Chris loses just a little bit on corner entry, it looks like, getting into turn 1, but really uses that yellow line to try and get the left sides down onto the apron to help rotate the car. So he's hanging in there. We'll see how he sits here in a few laps, if he's able to keep up as he starts to lose a little bit of ground.
Yeah, Mr. I Hate Every Track on iRacing, Todd Thomas is third. He was really complaining about the set earlier in our pre-race, but as you can see, he's managed to find his way to stay on the lead lap and work into the third position as they come off of turn 4. They'll be separating from Matt Bussa, who's actually fallen off a little bit. We'll have to see if he's employing the same strategy he did last week in saving his tires and trying to let them burn their stuff off before he makes a run towards the front.
Yeah, I think Mr. Todd Thomas there says he hates every track because after the first time, or one of the first couple times he did it, he actually won a race, so he's trying to see if it'll work for him again that way.
Oh, he didn't just win a race, he took a cruise to celebrate.
Yeah.
Another person hasn't been here too much lately, Matt Bontempi, 20 car, running back there in 7th place. He's in the chase, I believe. I do believe he has his minimum starts. He does have a win, so he'll be up there in the chase. He's running around top 10, 7th place right now. Marcus Lambert, 96 car, also right behind him at 8th. So a couple of those guys on lockdown, keeping it inside the top 10.
Now just looking at the cutoff line here, oh, we got a car going sideways. The 83 car got a little sideways going into 3. Got to stack up the field a little bit. Ellis in the 21 car, looks like Carlos Fonseca is going to go 3 wide with his teammate. Garland Rummel's going to be on the bottom. Oh man, that was tight.
Yeah, definitely a big cluster there going through 1 and 2. You can see the different lines that have developed on the track as we've worn the race down. And they're going hard right through there. A lot of those guys are a lap down, but they're still battling for position and trying to get back on the lead lap.
Adam de Blasio and Eric, his brother, right there behind him. That little group right there seems to be on top of each other. Watching them a little bit here, they seem to be stacked up trying to wait for each other and make passes. Mike Ellis in that number 7 is not letting Adam get around him.
Yeah, we take a look back up towards the front of the field here, and we'll take a look at Andrew, Chris, and Todd as really pulled away. Each of them about a half second away from the other. And then if you look back to the 4th position, and Matt Bussa, he's actually 5 seconds off the pace currently. So we'll see if he's able to flip that switch, or if that's basically all he has currently, as it looks like there's several drivers who've actually gotten around him that are a lap down. So we're be interested to see if he actually has a bigger issue that might need to be taken care of.
Yeah, it's definitely not like Bussa to be that far off the lead, especially when he's proven at some point in the race that he had the speed to be up front. A couple things to look at. A couple drivers towards the tail end of the lead lap. Trevor Dalton, number 30 machine, 19 seconds behind the leader. So he'll be going down a lap here within the next few laps. As Marcus Lambert as well as 17 seconds behind the leader. So next 10, 15 laps or so, both those guys will be a lap down again.
Yeah, both of them were looking to get a quick caution as they took the wave around on our first caution of the night, which happened on around lap 118. And it looks like Andrew Fash will get around Trevor there and put him back 1 lap down, but he still has a chance to get a lucky dog if something happens relatively quickly there. I do want to note that looks like Christopher Schitzler is kind of pulled right back in to around 4/10 or so away from Andrew, and just doing everything he can to stay in touch. And
Contact between the 69 and the 2. Josh Buckley's going to be up in the wall going into turn number 3. He's going to keep it up there high. Looked like they got a little tight going in the corner there, but Josh Buckley's going to be one to suffer.
Yeah, I think Joe's on a mission currently. He's trying to work his way up to the lucky dog position. He had it until Trevor went a lap down, so he's got to make some time up to get around him. And then by the time that Joe gets around Trevor, he'll have Marcus Lambert to deal with as he's getting ready to go a lap down there in the number 96 machine.
Looking back around where our sponsor for this race is Joseph Yates racing Carlos Fonseca back there. That group's getting pretty racy again, as actually we see Joseph Yates right up behind Matt Busa, so either Busa's really holding back, there's something wrong with that car.
Yeah, dual documented earlier in the race that Matt Busa had a lot of damage on the front end of that car, and we thought he fixed it on the last caution, but he might still have some lingering effects.
Back up front, Chris Schitzler still staying about just over half a second behind Andrew Fash, our leader, as we see Andrew Fash coming up on the back end of the 96 car to put him another lap down. So those guys taking the lucky dog or the wave by, not kind of getting the quick caution they needed.
And just kind of looking back through the field here, it looks like Adam de Blasio is sitting P5. Integrity Racing has our current Rookie of the Year battle, and Adam de Blasio is pretty much all but locked that up. And as you can see tonight, running Richmond, P5 for Adam right now.
Yeah, Adam's been able to maintain strong standings throughout the course of the regular season as we've run so far. And, you know, those consistent finishes and has been able to get him not only a solid lead in the Rookie of the Year battle, but also into the chase through points, which only one of 3 other drivers has been able to do that.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Bontempi's going to half the race. He's on pit road right now, starting from came in from P7.
And it looks like we have some disappointing news to pass along for our sponsor tonight. It looks like Joseph Yates' connection has dropped from the server, and so that'll definitely hurt his chances for having a strong run tonight, as he was really looking forward to tonight's race.
Yeah, Joe's been fighting some internet issues pretty much all season. Think that if he had those fixed, or his internet provider, whoever, he'd probably be in the top 10. But seems like every race he's having some kind of internet issues.
Yeah, it's going to be disappointing, as he's going to try and make his way back out here. Interesting battle. Not really even for position, but Adam and Eric de Blasio, the 2 brothers, running nose to tail. Eric seems a little bit faster, but I don't know if he's trying to get around him or not. But those 2 look like they've been trying to go at it for the last 4 or 5 laps.
Well, luckily they're not in the same room anymore, so they don't have to wrestle it out if they get contact from each other.
I was just thinking that, actually.
You might have a Cole Custer, John Hunter Nemechek situation in the de Blasio household after the race.
For those keeping track, that will be reference number 8 tonight.
You're welcome.
Marcus Lambert's going to be on pit road. He's going to be easily entering pit road from P7 right now. So it looks like everybody's going to half this run, try to get some new tires for the long run here.
And speaking of people that were on pit road, Matt Bontempi has passed Todd Thomas, your 3rd place car, and is making his way back up towards Chris Schitzler now to try and onto Fayash, hopefully eventually, to try and get back onto the lead lap. So new tires on the 20 machine, looking like he's going to get back on the lead lap.
Just several other drivers coming on pit road. James Hudson, let's see if he can do it without hitting pit wall this time. And he does. He gets on pit road safely this time, so lesson learned from the first time.
Yeah, it's a hard impact when you nail that wall on pit road entry. Done it a couple times before. Did it last year at Darlington. So it kind of sucks when you somehow manage to botch your pit road entry and put it into the water barrels.
Looks like Bontempi's going to get around Chris Schitzer in the 24, working his way up towards Andrew Fayas, try to get back on that lead lap. So Matt Bontempi currently faster than everybody else on those new tires, but will it work in the end?
Yeah, I'm starting to look now to see how... Oh, and there's a caution.
We got a caution on the speedway.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see. It looked like Matt Busa was having a half-second faster lap times over the rest of the field. But you have Guillermo Alvarez in the 83. Looks like he's up against the wall in turn 1.
Replay here to see what happened. Sitting up there for an awful long time. Looks like just coming off the corner right after the line, he went to get under the 7 of Mike Ellis and just got loose or something. I don't know what happened there, but he did get contact there. Who was that? 05 car made a little contact, nothing major.
So a little bit of tidying up to do under this caution. Lucky Dog's going to be the 69 car. Joe Lawrence has been trying to get that Lucky Dog for a little bit now. Matt Bontempi, who was one of your first cars to pit under that green flag run there, actually going to get trapped, was going to be trapped 2 laps down, will end up getting the wave by, so he'll be 1 lap down after this caution.
So it looks like it's going to be the money stop right here for the drivers on the lead lap, as you'll see the 34 Matt Busa come in along with Tyler Herr. The 24 Christopher Schitzer is right around to the left side, and he'll be getting ready to exit the pits pretty quickly.
One thing I was going to bring up right before that caution came out, Matt Busa was not falling back nearly as fast anymore the last 4 or 5 laps of that run as he had previously been earlier in the run. So maybe he was just saving and waiting, or maybe he was just finally evening out.
Well, we got a second here. Let's see if we can pull Joe Yates down before he loses his internet and get some questions into him. Hey, Joe Yates, this is Michael, Jacob, and Nick in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, Joe. Saw you were kind of having a pretty decent run there. We've been talking about your channel, trying to get you some subscribers, and then you had some, looks like you had some internet issues there. Kind of tell us kind of what's been going on with your race tonight and what your plan was.
Well, it's been absolutely miserable so far. I don't know what happened. I practiced a lot earlier in the week and had some good speed, and we come into the race and I got no speed. So I guess I'm just doing what I can, I guess.
Yeah, Joe, I was telling Jacob earlier, you've been fighting a lot of internet issues lately. You've been really solid when you're out here on the track, and then something happens with your internet. Probably not going to be your year to make the chase. So kind of tell us, for the last 10 races of the year, what your goal is and what you're looking forward to for the rest of the year.
Well, before I get into that, let me clear something up here. This was not an internet issue. For whatever reason, the sim froze on me going into the corner, and I've never seen that happen before, so I'm not sure what the issue was there. But as far as my goal for the year is, well, since it's pretty obvious I'm not going to make the chase, I guess it's just get as many points as I can and maybe see if I can steal a win here as we get into the chase races.
And Talladega could be a easy place with that still being a chase race for you to go out and steal a win. Maybe, just maybe, you can get that done, at least at Talladega, maybe somewhere else even.
Well, there's a couple of good tracks for me in the chase. You know, I'm really looking at Dover, New Hampshire, and Martinsville as, some of my best chase tracks there.
All right, Joe, we wish you the best of luck. Like I said, we've been plugging your channel left and right, trying to get you a few extra subs, man. Sorry for your luck tonight, but we'll be keeping an eye on you for the rest of the year.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
That's going to be Joe Yates, obviously having a very good night, I guess you could say.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, he was really looking forward to this race and put a lot of time and effort in trying to have the best run he can. So to have it come out like this with his connection problems or his computer freezing, that's really a disappointment. But I know he'll carry on to the further races and try to make the best of it for sure. Yes, it looks like we're going to go back to green.
Yeah, pace car pulls off. Andrew gets a hell of a jump. Watch the 24 and the 78 teammates going into turn number 1. Who's going to lift? Looks like Todd Thomas is going to let him by. Chris Schitzer's going to fall into P2. Here comes Busa on the outside of Todd Thomas off turn number 2.
Boosh is going to clear Todd Thomas down the back straightaway out of turn 2. Tyler Herr looking to the outside of the 78, not quite going to get there. De Blasio and Tyler Herr racing back there for the 5th position. Matt Busa had a great restart there. Drivers are spread out for the top 3 by about 4 or 5 car lengths going into 1.
I like this. All 2 to green guys up here in top 5-6 land. This is nice.
Yeah, y'all have had some great runs here the past few weeks. Michigan being the highlight of it, with top 4 drivers being 2 to green guys. And now it's a matter of, can Chris Schitzler pull in and catch Andrew Fayash and do anything with them to try to grab that last chase spot?
Well, I know Andrew Fayash really likes this place. It's one of his favorite tracks out here on the service. So knowing Fayash is not going to just pull over for Chris, he's really going to make him work for it. But we all know Chris, and maybe we'll see a little bit of John Hunter and Evachek action out here.
Well, he's been talking all week about how desperate he is, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets up to Andrew, he puts a little bump and run on him or something.
He's keeping up pretty good. Matt Busa falling behind. Schetzler got within about 2 car lengths to Fayash through 3 and 4 there, so he's doing everything he can to stay up really close to Fayash and see if Fayash makes a mistake.
Yeah, he's not really pulling away. Chris is kind of maintaining with Fayash up there. Who's going to wear their tires out quicker, I guess?
Joe Lawrence, who had been sitting back a lap down, up in the 7th place now. His contact between Colton Landis and the 49 and with the 2 going into 1, they come out of that no problems.
It looks like Josh is kind of stuck on the outside there, stuck in no man's land. He gets stuck out there at this track, and you really just can't do anything but ride, wait for a hole to open up. And in this case, Josh is going to lose 2 spots. Looks like William Dunn's going to try to make it 3.
Yeah, and you see he tried to throttle back up, but he's not quite going to have the room to clear back down as William Dunn's going to get up underneath of Buckley again. It's a tough spot to be up on that outside line. It's almost as bad as being out there at Martinsville.
Yeah, it looks like we have a battle for 4th place developing between the 2 to green drivers, as 4th, 5th, and 6th are all 2 to green, as Adam de Blasio looks on the inside of Todd Thomas.
Now, one thing these guys don't want to do, especially being teammates, is end up wrecking each other out. So hopefully they can play nice with each other and know they all want as many points as they can get, but got to look at the bigger picture. All 3 of these guys are going to be in the chase, so hopefully.
Yeah, it's definitely heating up here towards the front. It looks like Chris Schitzler's getting a great run down into turn 1. It's a matter of, can he do anything with it, though, as they're nose to tail going into turn 1 again.
No, Chris is trying.
And you mentioned heating up a little bit. It got a little heated between Tyler and Adam as Tyler Herr ran into the back of Adam de Blasio going into 3 the last time by.
He's going to try to get the back of Todd, too. Adam is on a mission, boys.
He'll look to the inside going into turn 1 and see what he can make of it.
Slides up the hill a little bit. Todd's going to be able to get the power down. Not quite going to... Todd will clear him coming off of turn 2.
No, Todd shuts the door on his teammate. Oh!
This is exactly kind of what you don't want to see between teammates, because before long somebody's going to take it just a little too hard as he looks into the inside again. Not quite going to get there. Going to lay the power down. Almost touch. Backs off again.
Yeah, here comes Tyler right behind.
Nervous there, team owner.
Yeah, 3 cars under a blanket right now.
Tyler Herr now looking inside of de Blasio. We'll see what Tyler's able to do.
Oh, there's some contact. There's some contact again, boys.
And just because they're teammates doesn't mean they don't want the position from each other. That's for sure. As you see them battling, and this will allow Joe Lawrence to come in.
Colton Landis, I believe.
Yeah, I gotta look at my standings a little better. Looks like.
Oh, that's Joe.
That's Joe Lawrence.
Yeah, that's Joe. Yeah, coming in there. Thought he was on the lead lap, but obviously he's moved back a little bit to the. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, he is on the lead lap. I need to scroll up apparently. No, he's moved. Yeah, he's moving up and challenging him for another top 6 position where Tyler is currently.
Looking back up front, Shetson might have burned his stuff up a little too early in this run. He's fallen about half a second back. Matt Booster, though, doing a lot better job this run at keeping up close with your top 2. Matt Booster sitting 1.1 seconds behind your leader, Andrew Fayesh, the third. Holding on a little bit closer. Is going to lose a little bit that lap, though.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through the field here, trying to get a chase update. Looks like Carlos Fonseca is going to be sitting P21 right now, and Cody Smith, your cutoff boy, is sitting P25. So currently, right now, Cody would be in the chase, Carlos not.
Yeah, really, it's going to come down to, with the damage from both the 18 and the 81, the wild card here is going to be the 24, Christopher Schitzler. Is he going to get another chance to get up to Andrew? As Nick mentioned before, it looks like that he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Maybe use some of his tires up, trying to get to that lead. Is he going to get another caution and maybe do something with Andrew and get some fresher tires?
Well, keep watching this battle between the 78 and the 48 and the 19. They might get that caution that Schitzler needs. It's Adam de Blasio inside of Todd Thomas once again as they go down the back straightaway. Todd's going to clear him. Tyler Herr gets into the bumper of de Blasio. Contact between the 48 and the 19 again.
I'm telling you, when you're a team owner watching this, they are not team drivers. They are all gunning for points right now.
I'm actually taking a look on board with the 24 of Christopher Schitzler, and it looks like he's made some contact with the wall possibly, as he has some right front damage on his car that may be affecting his handling, and that might be the issue why he's not able to keep up as well with the number 77 of Andrew Fayesh.
A little bit of contact there between the 69 of Joe Lawrence and Tyler Herr in the 19. That time through 3 and 4. Joe Lawrence might be trying to spoil.
Caution on the speedway.
Caution. Matt Busa is around down the apron there in turn 3. We'll have to see what happened there.
Yeah, Matt Busa, I don't know. Let's look at the replay here. Looks like he just come off 2, got under Chris, and Chris kind of tried to block him. Matt lost complete control over the car. That'll be a one.
Schitzler comes off the corner and just tries to keep turning to keep away from it, loses speed, and Booster just kind of runs into the back of him.
That'll be that'll be Booster's 3rd caution, so he'll probably be sitting out unofficially at Chicagoland next week.
Yeah, it looks like, just that little bit of checkup from Schitzler coming off of turn 2. He had to try to turn away from that wall, and Busa was right there and lost it. But that'll give one last opportunity possibly for Chris Schitzler to make a run at Andrew Fayesh as we look to see how they do coming into pit lane.
Knowing Chris, he's taking 2 tires right now.
I would not be surprised, but
he is desperate.
Thing to look at, it might not be the last shot he has. We still have 20 more laps to go. We're on lap 179 at 200 here, so
Chris is on 4 tires.
A few opportunities.
Yeah, Chris took 4 tires. He's gonna come out ahead of Andrew. Holy cow!
Pit lane.
Andrew Fayesh complaining about his pit crew all year. Once again, not going to get the job done for him as he's going to lose the lead off of pit road.
Good for Chris. That's what he needed. He needed a miracle on pit road. He's been complaining the same thing. His pit speeds, his pit crew's just completely slow. And the one race that really matters to him, and he's going to take the lead off pit road.
Yeah, that might be the game-changing moment of the race. It'll be interesting to see how Schitzler feels right now as he is taking the lead for the first time tonight here at Richmond International Raceway.
Please.
Well, let's go ahead and talk to Chris Schitzler coming off of pit road with the lead. Chris, how's it going, buddy? So we were just talking about your awesome pit crew there. It looks like you guys did a phenomenal job on pit road. Kind of tell us about it.
They deserve a steak dinner. That's for sure.
We're really surprised that you took 4 tires on that stop as well. We figured, get some track position around Andrew, take 2, but no, you went for 4 and come out with the lead.
I was actually looking at the laps left. It looks like we're going to go green with about 17 or 18 to go, and it seems for the first 20, I can keep up with Andrew. I can't necessarily find a way around him, but I can keep up with him. So I figured 4 was the way to go. There was no way I was going to hold off the field on 2.
I gotta tell you, watching you up there, there's also Todd, Tyler, Adam. You guys running top 5, top 6. Very good job. Chris, I'm gunning for you, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say thank you to all these guys. They've been helping me a little bit on these restarts, and my apologies to Busa if that was my fault. I'm not sure if I caused that or not, but
Yeah, we'll let the admins decide all that later on, buddy. But definitely gunning for you to get in the chase tonight.
Good luck,
thank you guys.
Good luck. That was Chris Schitzer in the number 24 machine. Definitely going for a win tonight. Needs to get one, and he's going to pull it out, maybe, with the win on pit road.
Yeah, now I've been in this boat before, about at Bristol. The issue is do you want the yellows or do you want it to go green? Because you know if you go green, you have at least Andrew Fash, who's really quick on these runs, short runs here, especially at Richmond. Do you want it to go green, or do you kind of want a little bit of mayhem behind you?
Yeah, this will be an interesting turn of events, that's for sure. We're going to be coming with 18 to go. Chris Schitzer's going to be leading. Andrew Fash. Oh, Jacob's going to throw the caution. Yeah, let's go through the.
We had a lot of wave arounds there to get back around. So for safety's sake and everybody get in line, we gave them opportunity to get settled in there.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go through the top 5 real quick. So Chris Schitzer's going to be P1 right now. Andrew Fash sitting P2. Led most of the race. Todd Thomas P3. Adam de Blasio P4. And unknown driver Joe Lawrence. We don't talk about him sitting P5.
Now here's the big question. Will lapped traffic play a role in the finish of this race?
Well, it's probably going to depend on if we get a couple cautions here. Of course, we all know Chris. He's not just going to pull over if Andrew gets up to him. So we'll see here in about half a lap, I guess. Haystar's going to bring him around turn number 3. Chris is going to have control of the field. And he's going to gun it early. Good job by Chris to take off. Andrew's going to try to catch up to him going into turn number 1.
Andrew Fash sails it off into turn 2. Not going to get to this outside. Todd Thomas on the inside of the 77 machine. Joe Lawrence coming up off the corner.
3 wide.
3 wide
in turn 3.
Joe Lawrence coming out of nowhere going 3 wide with Adam de Blasio, Todd Thomas. Give it to Joe.
That is some tight racing going there into turn 1. As they'll try to double file back up as they roll through turns 1 and 2.
Joe Lawrence going to move into P3 ahead of Adam. Where did Joe come from? Holy cow.
Tyler Hurd launching up underneath Todd Thomas back there as they're battling back there for about the 5th position.
Meanwhile, back up front, Chris Schitzer is going to get passed by Andrew.
Contact between the 77 and 24 machine is going to bring Joe Lawrence back up as Chris Schitzer is going to...
He's going to sail it in there. Oh, we got spin on the back.
Behind him with the teammates.
There goes the teammates. Big chunk. Matt Boos is involved. Jay Heisman. Chase Championship complications.
Spit it out their door.
I know.
87 and Joseph Yakes involved.
Holy cow.
Well.
Look at the replay here.
Todd Thomas just gets into the corner way too hot and runs into the back of Adam de Blasio. He's going to punt de Blasio sideways, and de Blasio does a pretty good job at not hitting anything, but Busa not so lucky and runs into Adam, which takes Heisman and Jakes with him.
I don't know what happened to Todd. They're like he lost his brakes or something.
Watch Matt Busa.
Oh, man.
The ride off of the water barrel.
Somebody call an ambulance. Busa's hurt. Now, Todd Thomas is going to get the back of the 48. He's going to collect 34, which got Jay Heisman and the 2 and the 87. Big junk in turn 4. Matt Boos is on his topper.
Yeah, it almost looks like Todd just kind of lost his brakes. I mean, just gets in real hot and then hits de Blasio and then into the wall he goes. God, that was a hard hit by Matt Boos into those water barrels.
Now, Joe Yakes having a bad night, and it just got worse. He's going to be collected in that. Chris Schitzer, meanwhile, up ahead there, him and Andrew, I think they're about to duke it out.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what happened between those two as they came into turn one. Yeah, looking back at the original pass Fash made, or the pass Fash made on him, Fash starts looking on the inside going down the front straightaway, and Schitzer just tries to kind of pinch him off as they make a real shallow approach and make contact, and that's kind of what allowed Fash to by so easily. And then, of course, we saw Schitzer try and get back underneath of him right around the time that caution came out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk to Todd here. Todd, this is Mike, Jacob, and Nick in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, guys, how's it going?
Hey, Todd, we're just kind of talking about how you guys are running pretty hard up there, and it looks like you got into Adam a little bit there. Kind of tell us what you saw from your point of view.
Yeah, I kind of screwed my team over here. I was really trying to get in front of Fayash there on that restart to try to help Chris out, and then screwed that up, and then I guess I just blew the turn in turn 3 and just blew my braking marker and got in the back of another teammate. So really kind of disappointing my my last few laps here.
Well, you're still out there in P4 right now, looking at probably about 9 laps to go on the restart. Kind of tell us what your thoughts are heading to the chase with Chicagoland next week and beyond.
I don't know. I'm pretty decent at the 1.5 miles, so Chicago should be a good race for me. We'll see how it is, but I gotta do better, man. I've really kind of screwed up the last few laps here for the team, and it's really going to cost us here. Hopefully, Chris can get around fast. That's all I care about right now.
Yeah, we're all gunning for Chris too. We're waiting for him to put on the bump and run on Andrew because we all know it's coming. It's just gotta get up there and do it. Well, Todd, good luck with the rest of the race, and we'll see you in the chase next week.
All right, thanks.
Now, one thing to talk about is Joe Lawrence going to spoil both Chris and Fash's party here and get the win, not allowing Schentzer to make it in on wins.
Yeah, we don't talk about Joe a lot, honestly. We don't really see him up front too often. And for him to be sitting P3, he could be a spoiler alert.
Joe making one of his few starts of the year as we're double filed, getting ready to go green, going down the back straightaway.
Pace car is going to pull off, and Andrew Fast going to lead him to green really slow. He's on the gas. This Schitzer's going to be a little slow. Joe Lawrence going to get under him for P2.
Todd Thomas almost hits Chris Schentzer. Joe Lawrence going to slip on into the second position as they're going to come off of turn 2, 3 wide.
That's, you can tell, the number 11 of Eric de Blasio is starting to make some moves as well as he's worked his way up into the top 5.
Has contact since 21 spinning.
Caution! A caution on the speedway. Looks like they went 3 wide with Adam de Blasio, Marcus Lambert, and Mark Robertson's going to be the guinea pig, and that one up high got spun around. Looks like he almost got, he got one. He almost got Carlos there. Who else did he get here? It's like the 53 of James Hudson to add to his troubles.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Looked like Mark came around the outside of the 96 there, and then Adam de Blasio came under him and made it the Marcus Lambert sandwich there and sent Mark spinning around.
Yeah, and I feel like Lambert saw that de Blasio was coming and Robertson didn't know. They touch a little bit, and then de Blasio comes in and kind of makes a little bit of contact maybe there with Lambert. Makes a little bit of contact, pushes Lambert back up, and the 21 comes down. So that's just kind of a sticky situation on that caution.
Well, boys, 6 laps to go. Who's going to make it through turn 1 first? Well, we got a minute. Let's go over one more time the chase complications, boys. Right before, so as you can see with the standings on your screen, that Cody Smith and Carlos are basically the only two fighting outside of anybody that would win. And right now, Cody Smith's sitting P22, Carlos sitting P19. So right now, Cody Smith would still be in, Carlos would still be out just based on points.
Yeah, I think looks like Cody's going to have that spot locked up. Now let's talk about these last 5 laps of this race. We're going to run at least one more, two more under yellow. There still is a chance Schützler can get around the 29 or the 69 and the 77 and get the win. But if the 77 and the 69 get to racing, that could bring Schützler a much easier way to get by and get the win.
Yeah, I think for Chris to win right now, what he needs is Joe to get up there and distract Andrew and distract him bad, and Chris needs to take advantage of it. Running out of time.
Yeah, and it'd be really nice to see Schützler get up there and get a win. I mean, you look at how many drivers we've had who have had a win this season. We've had 15 or 16 drivers have a win, and 11 of those are in the chase. So there's a lot of drivers out here who've had a great season, who've been able to get those wins to get themselves in the chase.
Yeah, I may have to double check my stats here, but I think Eric de Blasio in the number 11 is actually pretty close to making his minimum starts to be eligible as well, so he might be the extra sleeper tonight. If these guys start to have issues, look for him as he moves his way to 5th.
Yeah, and Eric's come a long way from earlier in the race where he was scored at least one lap down when he was following his brother Adam. His brother Adam's a little bit farther behind now, and he's going to be sitting up there in the 5th spot, so we'll see what happens when these guys get back to green flag.
It's going to be about a 3-lap crud show, what we could say. Well, last pick of the race, boys. Who are you picking?
I'm going to go with Schützler. I think the 69 and the 77 are going to make contact, and I think it's going to let Chris just slip right on by.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't count out the 24, that's for sure. It really depends on the start here. I'll place my bets on Schützler, but if it's a clean start, I think Andrew might have this one.
Yeah, I think if Andrew gets a good start here on a good jump on him, I think Chris is going to be out of the chase. But if it's a jumbled mess, I think Chris will put the bumper on it. Pace car is going to pull off. Andrew Fast is going to take the lead again. They're off. Joe got a great start next to him, side by side.
They go side by side. Schützler goes side by side with 19. Joe gonna slip on in behind Fayash. It looks like Fayash might just walk away with it.
Yeah, so what happened was he needed him to get up there and ruffle his feathers a little bit, but just not enough. Chris Schützler's going to fall to P3. Andrew Fayash is going to start pulling away. Move Chris to P2. He's looking. Oh, he's on the apron. Contact. They got contact. They saved it. Here comes Eric de Blasio. Oh, there's some contact some more.
They're 4 wide coming.
Eric de Blasio's going to squeeze out a P3. What a move by Eric de Blasio, boys. Woo! Meanwhile, back up front, your winner of the race, Andrew Fayash the 3rd. Joe Lawrence.
De Blasio pulling out a great finish in 3rd spot, especially coming into that final lap. He'd just gotten into the door of the 19 of Tyler Herr as they'd washed up the hill.
And Chris is not a happy camper, boys. He's got pit road stacked up.
Yeah, Chris went from about 3rd place on that final lap all the way back to 9th, so not a great finish at all.
Let's pull down Tyler Herr first of all. Tyler, congratulations on your P4 win. That looked like a hair-raising experience. Kind of tell us what you thought of those last 3 laps.
Man, that was a crazy last restart there. It was a tough race all race long. The car was just so tight that it was just so difficult to try and get positions and whatnot. Had a little bit of an issue on my first pit stop there and just tried to fight my way all the way back up. Tried to help Chris out as much as I could, but it's just unfortunate to see him just miss the chase. Yeah, we were all kind of really gunning for Chris to make the chase. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out that way. Kind
kind of had a hairy start. He had one shot at it and really didn't quite make it. So, Tyler, kind of tell us what your thoughts are going into the chase next week.
Well, I'm really hoping that I have a much better year than I did last year in the chase. My first 3 races just were horrible, but I just hope that with all my finishes I've had in the past 8 weeks, I'm just hoping that can continue into the chase here, just so I can actually be a threat for this championship come Homestead.
Tyler, I'm certainly glad to see you in the chase, man. I'll be happy to compete against you next week. Good job on the race tonight. Is there anybody out there you want to thank?
Well, first and foremost, I really got to thank 2 to Green Motorsports here. We tried so hard to get ourselves into position here to make as many cars in the chase as possible. And I got to thank LSR TV, Chef Andy's Lobster Rolls, they're wicked smart, and Ambrosia Designs for painting this car up. And I just hope that the next few races here go just as well as how I've been running.
Tyler, congratulations, man. Looking forward to racing with you, and we'll see you there in Chicagoland.
All right, thanks, Dusky.
All right, that was Tyler Herr. Let's bring down one guy we don't talk about too much. Would be Eric de Blasio. Nick, you go and take this.
Eric de Blasio, Nick up in the booth. Looks like you had a real solid night out there tonight. Finished 3rd place after starting back in the 27th spot. Ran a good bit of the race down the lap and managed to get on the lead lap towards the end of it. Tell us how your night went.
I think it went pretty well. At the beginning of the race, I thought it was going to be a wreck fest because everybody was going to fight for that last position in the chase, but apparently it wasn't, so I just tried to make my way through the field throughout the day, and I was lapped at that one point, and I just worked hard to keep my position up near the lucky dog spot, and then I decided to take the wave around and was able to get back onto the lead lap. And once that happened, I made my way through the field, and those last 2 laps were extremely hairy, and I could not believe. I really wanted to make the chase, but I gave it my all. I don't know what else I could have done.
Yeah, and you put on one heck of a show out there, especially those last couple laps, like you mentioned. Coming out of turn 4 to the white flag, it looked like you'd gotten a little bit of contact with the 19 of Tyler Herr. Took the both of you up towards the outside wall down the front straightaway, and then coming off of turn 2, going down the back straightaway. A lot of beating and banging and rubbing going down the back.
Yeah, I thought I gave Tyler enough room, but I guess I didn't. It didn't register as any incidents for me, but I know I didn't give him enough room, I guess. And then when everybody was wrecking in front of me, I think it was the 24 and the 69, I did not know where to go, and I just decided to give the 69 a bump, and then the 19 came in and gave the 69 a bump in turn 3, and I just somehow found my way through that and got a 3rd place finish, best finish of the season for me, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, best finish of the season out here tonight at Richmond. Quite the place to go get a good finish. Well, any plans for the rest of the season on how you're going to approach it after a finish like this?
I just want to keep on being consistent. I really want to make the top 20 in points. That's my main goal right now, because I want to be able to get one of those locked-in spots for next year, so I don't have to worry about qualifying my way in every single race, which I've had, well, at the beginning of the season I had to do. And I just hope my internet holds up pretty well here, because last year I lost my internet and I wasn't able to race for about 5-6 races, so that just dropped me down in the points.
Yep, well, again, congratulations out here on your 3rd place finish tonight out here, Eric. Thank you, and have a good night, bud.
Alright, thank you, 10-4.
And that was going to be Eric de Blasio there. Great finish for him. I want to bring down here Cody Smith. We don't talk about Cody Smith too often, but I wanted to be the first to unofficially congratulate you, bud. You're in the chase.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I made it as interesting as I could. I couldn't have ran a worse race, but hey, I made it in. That was the goal, right?
Yeah, we were definitely keeping an eye on the chase between you and Carlos all race long, and kind of noticed that Carlos was having a really cruddy night, and then looked like you were kind of having a really cruddy night, driving around with your hood missing most of the night. So it was kind of a crapshoot, but really glad to see you again unofficially here in the chase. But just kind of tell us what your thoughts are now that you're in the chase and how you're going to approach Chicagoland next week.
Yeah, man, definitely. Like I said, the chase was the ultimate goal. Chicagoland, I don't know. I haven't really looked forward to that too much. I've been looking forward to this race, trying to get in the chase. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad to see some of the underdogs make it, especially the guys that don't really have a win, but they point their way in. Good job to you, bud. Is there anybody you want to say hi to or give thanks to?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I just gotta thank Jacob for putting the league on, and everyone for coming out every week. It's a lot of fun. Gotta thank Daryl for doing all the broadcasts, even though he didn't do tonight, and you guys for doing tonight's broadcast. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun league, and now let's go run for a championship.
That's right, buddy. Well, congratulations. Can't wait to race against you next week, man. Good job.
Appreciate it, man.
And we'll bring down the winner of the race tonight, Andrew Fayash, with his 3,000 wins in the league here. And Andrew, we kind of thought maybe, me and Nick both thought maybe Chris was going to give you the bumper. Kind of tell us what you thought with that 3-lap restart.
Well, first, I think you need to hire de Blasio to do your stats, because I think you're just a little bit incorrect on that one. You're close, though.
Don't correct me, son.
In all seriousness, yeah, I wasn't worried about him getting me because on the first couple corners, I figured for the most part he'd have to fight Jordan a bit, or Joe, as you guys will know him. And I figured that would be enough. With only a few laps to go, that would be enough to get away there. My biggest concern was when my pit crew was slow and he had the lead, was whether we could get enough laps for me to get him back.
Yeah, we didn't know if Joe was going to come out of nowhere and maybe do something to try to weasel his way into somewhere, or if we all picked Chris to get up there and rub you around a little bit, but unfortunately that just didn't happen. So obviously you're in the chase with all the wins that you have. You're probably going to be, P1 come next week. So kind of tell us how you're going to approach basically a new season.
Well, I'm going to try to do it the same way I did last year, and because it obviously worked out. It was pretty close to not working out, but it obviously worked out last year. Pretty much just going to take it one race at a time and treat them like their own deal. Because a win gets you to the next round. So as long as you treat each round like that, knowing, hey, even if something goes wrong, rather than being in a panic trying to desperately win the next one, just take it calm and put yourself in good position, and just try to keep yourself focused. So that's what I did last year. And last year I missed a couple races because of work, so I had to win a race or two to make the next round. So it took, it's all about keeping yourself calm in that situation, because if you don't keep yourself calm when you need to, when you're trying really hard for a win, you're going to just overstep your boundaries a little bit and, destroy any chance you have.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, especially, we're all three of us are really in the chase, and that it's going to be a completely different strategy going into each round now. It's basically a win and you're in. And I don't know about you, but there's a couple of tracks out there I'm a little worried about, especially Talladega, but also some of the other courses that I'm not great at, but I kind of approach it the same way. So good luck to everybody tonight in the chase for next week, starting at Chicagoland. It should be a great little chase.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, but like you said, there's certain tracks. Everybody's got Talladega marked as a, who knows what's gonna happen. I have added Martinsville to that list. I love Martinsville. I usually am good there, but I uh, went over the incident cap for the first time. I think I don't know about forever, but for the first time in a long time earlier this season. So you never know what's gonna happen.
And Nick, since you guys are pretty much teammates with Andrew, is there anything you would like to ask him?
Yeah. What exactly did you think when you had Schnitzler behind you a couple different times throughout that race? Do you think he was going to rub you and push you around, or do you think he didn't have the courage to do that?
The first time he was behind me for a while, I thought it was going to get ugly because I was trying to save tires because I knew Busa was back there really saving his tires, and Chris was, doing his thing, going hard, trying to take the lead, and by me trying to take it easy on entry and focus on my corner exit speed and him just going as hard as he can, we're meeting in the middle of the corner every other lap. So, but he kept it off me, and I talked to him. He said he wants to win badly, but he doesn't want to win it that way. I know that if it comes down to it, he would. I think we all know that about Chris. I think he'll admit it if you ask him, but at the same time, I know he would much rather do it cleanly and without contact than resort to that.
Yeah, I think he would too. I mean, we all know how Chris is when he gets desperate. I mean, first place, out of the way to get in the chase, but it's always better to pass him clean.
Yeah, and it's something I've done before, trying to get a chase spot before. I did it last year in a truck league out at Texas Motor Speedway. Not exactly the way you want to win a race, but sometimes when you're desperate, you do desperate things, and sometimes it gets you the results. But I tell you what, it ended bad for me in the long run because guy remembered, and come Phoenix, I didn't finish that race.
Well, Andrew, good job on the win tonight. Definitely going to be seeded one for sure for next week. Hang out, we got the post-race, pre-chase wrap-up show, whatever the heck Jacob's calling it, man.
Yeah, I'll be around. I'm supposed to be on that show already. They had me scheduled on it before the race started, so I tried to buy them extra time by winning the race so that there's one less person they have to put on the show.
All right, man. Well, good luck. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
I just wanted to pull down here Chris Schnitzler one time before we end the show here. Hey, Chris, buddy, how you doing?
Hey, gotcha, guys.
Hey, just kind of was talking to Andrew. We asked him if he was kind of worried that you were going to put the bumper to him for the win. So kind of tell us what your thoughts were going to that 3-lap shootout.
Well, that was all set up 10 laps before that. We got out there on a pit stop in the lead, and I had some teammates behind me. The plan was, for them to help me out a little bit there. Fortunately, one of my teammates just got a bad restart. It happens to all of us. I do it all the time. So I just want to thank all my teammates for trying to help me out there. But basically, I got out there in the lead and just grandma'd it. I didn't drive it hard enough. I was afraid of making a mistake, and I ended up making a mistake because I was afraid to make a mistake, and it was a little bit of a disaster. And then on that last restart, I got a Gordon restart, and I let the 69 get in front of us, and the 69 did what he had to do to help his teammate win the race by driving me down on the apron there, and it caused a little bit of a calamity. But all in all, pretty disappointing night.
Yeah, all three of us had picked you to win. If the restart was going to be rough, we had picked you to win. We were kind of hoping that maybe, obviously not being chase eligible, kind of looking for a way to squeeze yourself in. We just figured you'd get in there. Unfortunately, just not your night. Probably you're not going to be in the chase this year. So kind of tell us what your thoughts are going into the next 10 races for.
Well, to address your first point, it was going to be exciting had I got a good restart there, because it's no secret his bumper was going to be in my steering column. But going into the last 10, I think my goal was just to stay up as high as I can in the points. to hopefully be locked in next year whenever Jacob decides to do how he's going to decide the locked in drivers next year.
Yeah, well, I don't. Good.
And I think it's going to be a big learning curve. I mean, they're going to be changing the track surface. I think it's going to be a dynamic change with the track rubbering up so much more. So it's going to be, I think, to learn as much as I can. I think you're actually going to see some guys that are real fast on this track surface, maybe not be quite as fast on the next one.
Yeah, that's quite true, especially got the new build update coming out tomorrow, and the first chase is directly after that at Chicagoland. It'll be a fun little trial and error. That's for sure.
Yeah, and Chris, you had a good run. I was really rooting for you, and it sucks your night ended that way. How are you looking at the rest of the season though with the chase? Are you just gonna try and run as good as you can, try and get a winner, or are you just gonna chill out the rest of the season and gather it up for next year?
Well, they say you gotta crawl before you can walk. So my goals right now, I think a win are a little bit lofty. In this league, I think my number one goal right now has to be to finish races. That's something that I've had a seriously hard problem doing this season for some reason or another. But I think that's going to be my goal. But looking at the replay tonight, it looks like we at least made the last lap interesting for you guys to watch.
Oh man, I'm not kidding. We were all yelling.
It was quite an exciting event sitting from where we were watching it. Yeah, I feel you though with the finishing. It's been an issue for quite a few drivers out here this season, me being one of them, especially in the earlier stages of the season. Out of the first 10 races I think I ran, I only finished 4 of them without being involved in a wreck in some shape or form. So sometimes it's just wrong place, wrong time. Sometimes, you just kind of put yourself in the situation, and it's definitely something you got to work through, and you'll get it figured out.
I will tell you that that Nike Toyota might make a reappearance as well as it ran tonight.
It looked really good on the track, to be honest, especially at night.
That's all Best Buy Toyota.
All right, Chris. Well, good luck to you for the rest of the season, man. We'll see you on the track, and good night.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, bud.
Well, Richmond is over. The chase begins. Nick, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, it was actually a great race. Those guys put on one hell of a show. First caution wasn't until 118, 120 or so. Overall, really good, clean race. They all ran a great race. The last 20 laps, however, were interesting, to say the least. A lot of 3-wide racing, which is good. Richmond produces a really good racing surface like that. Big thing to watch out for, though. We got the chase starting next week, and like we were talking about with Chris, the new build with the new surface model. I think with the new surface model, they say we still have to test it and see what it does. But if they say about 3 times faster is how the rubber being laid down is going to be about 3 times as fast as what it currently is. So that can make for a really interesting transition from what we're used to at the current pace. And it could mean a lot more changing lines a lot more frequently throughout the race as the track takes in a lot of rubber. So I think that's going to be the big thing to watch out for going into the chase next week at Chicago.
I think I would agree, especially with the new build coming out. Going to be a lot of testing, especially in this fixed setup series. A lot of testing at Chicagoland, seeing how the speed up, seeing what the tire wear does, even how the track reacts to the rubber on the track, because there's there. But it should be an interesting, interesting 10 races. There's a lot of fast guys out here, me and you included, that we got some work to do.
Yeah, and everybody in the chase has got some work to do. And it's not just people in the chase. Everybody in the whole league. That's going to be a lot of work trying to get back up to speed with this new build. So, and you look at the tracks that we go to throughout the chase. We have Chicagoland to start out. We have Martinsville, we have Talladega, we have Texas, Homestead. A lot of these tracks, are quite different. We have, granted, we do have 5.5 mile racetracks, and that's where the biggest thing I think is going to be for those chase drivers is you have to be good on the 1.5 miles. You're going to have speed, and at places like Texas and Chicagoland and Charlotte, those 3.5 miles are more of, let's say, more so Charlotte and Chicagoland, where the tracks are kind of multi-groove to begin with. That's going to be the big thing to watch out for, is making sure drivers are switching lanes kind of where they need to with the tire buildup, and hopefully they can catch on to that and make their way through the chase and end up at Homestead fighting for the championship.
Yeah, that's my goal as well. Is try to get a good win somewhere. I love Texas. Texas is a good track. Talladega is a crapshoot. Chicagoland's fun. Kansas is in there somewhere, I think. So I mean, there's a number of tracks there that the 1.5 miles, like you said, if you're not good at the 1.5 miles, your chances are really low to win a championship. But it'll be a fun little 10 race finish here. I think should be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I'm kind of hoping for a good finish out at Chicagoland just to jumpstart it, but if I can somehow manage to limp my way on through, maybe I can get another win at Phoenix and go for the back-to-back fall Phoenix wins in this league. But ultimately, the goal is to go out there and win Homestead. If we're not in the chase, if we're not in the Final Four, it'd still be a lovely thing to go out there and finish out on top at Homestead.
That would. It'd be fun. All right, guys, don't forget to check out the post-race, pre-10 race chase integrity show, whatever the heck they're naming it. Links at the bottom of the video. Feel free to click on that. It should be starting up here shortly. For Jacob Fife, Nick Ward, and myself, want to thank you guys for the debut of us filling in for Daryl while he's camping on this holiday weekend. And hope to see you guys around soon.